Hello, I'm Piers Corbyn from weatheraction.com, long range weather and climate forecasters. And today I'm going to report to you about what happened in storms in Britain, Northern Europe and around the world in the central part of November. In particular, the top level solar weather impact period which we predicted from the 17th to the 19th of November. Now, this impact period was part of a more extended one from the 11th to 19th, which came as a prelude hit and then the main one. The prelude hit, 11th to 13th, was well confirmed in the British Isles, where, for example, there was some a tornado in central England, and a number of other events. So that was very well confirmed. The 17th to 19th was the major hit, and we warned from 100 days ahead that standard meteorology in the build-up to that time would consistently underestimate the intensity of what was going to happen, not only in Britain but in around the world, and they would be taken by surprise. Now, we called it a top-level solar weather impact period, meaning that the intensification of weather fronts and the strength of storms and winds would be at its highest level during that period. And the solar weather impact period is defined by what we call a series of red spikes. These are affecting events on the Earth by the sun. And the density of these red spikes, if you like, is very high during a SWIP. And these particular SWIPs that we call top level might normally only happen once or possibly twice a year. This is a very important event series, therefore. Now, during that time, the 17th to 19th of November, Weather Action's red weather warning of the highest possible weather extreme event danger was confirmed to the day in Ireland, Britain, southwest Scandinavia and around the world. It's true though the details for Ireland and Britain were different from our main proposed option of 100 days ahead, but nearer the time we could see a bit more about what actually was going to happen. In terms of a warning to emergency services, it was absolutely spot on that extreme danger would be countenanced, suffered in that period. Now, around the world, those events in Britain were simultaneously followed by a number of events, some of which we predicted. For example, in the US of A, there were extreme thunder floods confirmed to the day in the period we said, the 17th to 19th. We'd expected a formation of a storm in the East Tropical Pacific. That did not happen. We expected a formation of a storm in the Indian Ocean, and we specified off Sri Lanka and said we'd have a Sri Lanka hit. There wasn't a storm recorded of a high enough level, but there was the big hit in Sri Lanka of an event, and 58,000 people were removed from their homes by flooding in Sri Lanka in that time period. We also predicted there would be a early season tropical cyclone development in the Coral Sea or off Queensland, and would affect Queensland. There wasn't a named storm, but there was massive deluges of hail on the Queensland-New South Wales border, and there was also simultaneously some crazy weather off Melbourne. So that again was confirmed in real weather terms. So 4 of the 5 extreme events we predicted around the world happened in that time period. And also other events took place which we warned there would be some which would not be forecast by us, but nevertheless have some very extreme events. For example, in South Africa, floods trapped a school bus, and in China, there was massive storms, snowstorms, where 32 people were killed and 3 million people were made homeless. 3 million people. Now, and in Britain, we'll talk a bit more about the details in a second, but there was tremendous events, as you know. Now, a question must be asked, why wasn't it that the BBC didn't report on these other extreme events around the world instead of just talking about Britain? Now, think about it. Had they reported all those extreme events like they normally do and then blame global warming on them, the question could have been asked, well, was it known these were going to happen and why? And the answer is, of course, yes. We knew there would be extreme events all over the world. We warned of that and we predicted a number of them, and we know they were caused by solar activity, not by anything to do with mankind.